Well, howdy diddly dandy there, chums. It's a Captain Steve's Talks video. Now, I've got some UAP, UFO footage, whatever you want to call it. The way this guy calls it, it says, my low-light camera captured a ton of weird objects in space in full 4K. So he's got a 4K camera. This guy is called Scanner Guy 1968. I'm going to put a full link to the video inside of the video description. Be sure to go check that out, because I'm thinking it'd be good if people could replicate this over the tinterwebs and see if they get the same result. So here we are. I'm just going to turn his volume down a little bit. But you can see here, he's actually listed the sort of stuff that he used to do this. But this is a low light camera, 4K resolution, and he zoomed in and sped it up at least 64 times the speed in some cases. Now you can see little stars moving extremely slowly across this actual image. I mean, there's one just zooming off over here, actually. There you go, look at that, over there. And there's another one down here. Now, years ago, when I used to have 2 pet dogs, I used to go taking them for a walk. And on a clear night sky, I used to see these sort of things moving across the sky, then stop in place, almost like they're emulating a star. And then they would start moving again. And you see these things speed up, slow down, and then shoot off again. And considering it's at 64 times the speed, I think this gives validity to what I used to see. I mean, one of them is clearly a plane because it's blinking. But all these other ones, look at the directions they're going. It doesn't seem correct or right. There's no way they're planes. And I think this is higher than our actual altitude that planes would fly in our actual skies. But I'm hoping people out there inside of the viewerverse can replicate this. I know myself, I've got a low light mode on my phone, and my phone is 4K. On a clear night sky, I'm going to give it a shot and see if I can capture some of this myself. I mean, some of them are clearly planes, like that one. But then a lot of these clearly aren't. They're not following any sort of normal sort of flight pattern. I mean, they're going all over the freaking shop. It's bloody weird. It's really weird. Now, a lot of people on side of the tinterweb are going mental over this green egg type image that we're seeing everywhere. But for me, this for me is some crazy stuff that needs to be explained, to be honest. Now, if I was to do this, I would probably bring up the flight path map and see which ones of those are planes and which ones aren't at the same time. But there's far too many of these to be commercial flights, in my opinion, people. It's mental. Unless he's standing right next to a freaking airport or he's got one either side of him, it's insane. Okay, anyway, I'll jump on to what other people are citing at the moment on the tinterweb as being crazy UAP footage. Okay, so one of my favourite content creators online is Caspers Egg. And I usually watch him for the paranormal, but he has been covering UAPs for quite some time now. And you know what? I really like his reactions to both his paranormal ghosty woasties and also his UAPs. Heck yes. But here we go. Let's just jump this up. I don't suppose he'd mind me reacting to his video, since he reacts to every single other person's video going on the tinterwebs. But these things have been found inside of caves. And over in Antarctica.
Video that was, I suppose, to a lot of people, a bit of an anticlimax, right? This big whole disclosure thing happening in January, and we get a video which, you know, looks a little bit ropey, excuse the pun, right? And I tried to recreate it, and you've probably seen it already, but here it is. This is just a short clip. But actually, for reference, let's watch the original video that dropped, that News Nation released a couple of days ago. First of all, here's the video, all right?
Now, Caspers Egg, he tried to reenact this with a shoelace, a night vision camera setup, and a normal egg, and some bits and bobs that he found about his kitchen and in a sewing set. And to be honest, he'd done a bloody good job. It's a freaking funny video. If you haven't hit on up Caspers Egg, go hit him up. The guy's freaking awesome. Heck yes. Go over there and do the thing, as he would say. Anyway, there's a lot of this green egg footage going on. And there's some new footage here.
Interesting about this, it's like it's now, this thing is in a container. It's not just like in a sling, okay? So what was...
to me, this, look, it's got a flat base to it. To me, this looks like a refueling pump. You know, the ones that they stick onto other planes and refuel mid-flight? It looks like that. You know, if it was egg-shaped, I wouldn't imagine it needing a flat base. I don't know. You just don't see it at the right angle to make a proper judgment on all of this. Heck no. But anyway, there's over on 4chan, there's been this guy that's leaked all this sort of stuff over on 4chan. Now, 4chan is a place full of trolls and also decent people. It's like any other social platform. Think Reddit, but everybody's anonymous. That's kind of where you are with it. And they're claiming that there's all different types of alien civilizations already here, and these egg-type crafts are just one of the different civilizations, and it belongs to a tall 8-foot humanoid alien with bright white hair. Think the Targaryens from frickin' Game of Thrones, and you're nearly there, apart from these were completely stark naked. Yeah, the Targaryens from Game of Thrones, essentially. Oh, there goes my front door. I won't be a moment, people. So this whistleblower claims that they worked for the Department of Defense, which, you know, there is some credibility to this. That they're saying that they're going to release more images. A lot of people have got the photos, put them through AI checkers to see if they were generated through AI. Doesn't look like that's the case. So a lot of it is being given merit or validity in some way, shape or form. But at the same time, I think a lot of these images, you could recreate these in a similar sort of fashion to the way that Caspers Egg did. I mean, let's face it, even a decent model maker could put together some sort of knock-up of a cave like this. But the fact that these are supposedly taken from Antarctica raises my eyebrows. Because as you know, I really like the story of Richard Admiral Byrd, and if you didn't know that, I do. And I've done a video on Richard Admiral Byrd up there. It's had thousands of views, it's done really well. Go hit that up, because it talks about Richard Admiral Byrd flying into the poles, or Antarctica, and entering into a lush landscape where he was accosted by some golden disc UFOs and taken down to this sort of crystal sort of structure, like building, and he encountered tall, 8-foot tall, blonde-haired, blue-eyed type looking characters. Yeah, very interesting indeed. And some people think that they were the Anunnaki. And if you like the stories of Anunnaki, or if you've never heard of Anunnaki, do a little research. It's interesting. But anyway, this chap that's done the leaking has said that there was this giant egg-type craft, and by it, these coffin-like boxes, which almost look like baby cots. They've got little legs on and everything. But apparently, this Nordic-type alien was laying down inside of this thing and just sat up, got up, start talking and all sorts, and it's been there for hundreds of years. Apparently, with no muscle atrophy or anything like that. But you know, they've got technology we don't got, so who knows? Maybe it could have happened. But until I see images of these Nordic aliens, or actually see one on frickin' TV chatting, then I don't know whether I'm going to believe that, to be fair. I mean, I don't think any sane real person would. I mean, some of these images, like this one that keeps popping up on my bottom feed, is one of the clearest pictures of this egg-like looking craft. But to me, it looks like a freaking egg. Yeah, it looks like a normal freaking egg that you would get at the supermarket, and someone's found a really cool place to place it that looks like a freaking cave. It could just be a hole in their back garden, let's face it. And then what they've done is they've got it on their laptop, then took a picture of their laptop screen, and that's why you've got all these sort of like lines going across it. It's not the best quality of image to be sort of dissecting and jumping into. And I'm fairly sure if you got that and run it through an AI generator, the AI generator is going to know that it's a photo taken from a laptop screen. So it's a still image that I don't know whether it's going to be able to do a deep dive and an AI analysis on that sort of stuff. Now, I really do like the way that Caspers Egg goes into this and picks up, like, these look like hieroglyphs and all this sort of stuff on there, and other people have said they definitely look like hieroglyphs. They're not just, you know, normal scuffs or etchings. They are actual hieroglyphs that just denote numbers, and they're pointing out some of the vegetation here. It's whatever. But anyway, do I think this is a legit UFO? Do I think this is an actual alien craft that someone's leaking? Until we get given more context and more images, at the moment this one is just sitting on my radar. It's on my peripheral. I'm not overly saying it's factual. I'm not overly saying it's correct. But what I do like about these images is because they're supposedly taken in Antarctica, and Richard Admiral Byrd said that it was vast vegetations of rich green floral landscape, and we're seeing all this flora and this rich landscape, this tapestry of plant life inside of Antarctica. Just that on its own is like, what the fudge, mate? This is really lining up with Richard Admiral Byrd's story. And like I say, hit up that Richard Admiral Byrd story. I'm going to put it as an end card to this video, so if you do want to learn about Richard Admiral Byrd, hit that up. He was a highly decorated naval officer. Now, these were all found in the Queen Elizabeth sort of chasm over in Antarctica. When you go and look at it on Google Maps, everything is super clear in super detail until you get to the Queen Elizabeth Channel where this stuff was supposedly happening. And then it goes all pixelated. You can't see anything from toffee or love nor money, which adds to the conspiracy theories. It really does. Why is it conveniently blurred out when you get to the point of interest? And we've found that time and time again. So yeah, there's also loads of world maps that show Antarctica uncovered as a landmass, and I really like this chap here. Yeah, Fingerprints of the God guy, I can't remember his name, Graham Hancock or
South
something.
Africa.
And what did they call it back then?
Well, they call it the Southern Land. And it's larger than it is today, but it was larger than it is today during the Ice Age. Antarctica was a much bigger. Now, what the fuck is it doing on a map drawn in the 1500s, which we know was based on older source maps when nobody knew it existed in the 1500s?
Sorry for the language there, people. But yeah, interesting stuff. There's also sightings of an egg-shaped craft out of this plane window as well.
Her reaction is what made this.
I don't really know what to make of this one, but there you go, look.
Whoa.
That looks more like a tic-tac shape than an egg shape to me. And Caspers Egg, he picks up on that too. Now, we know that Lockheed Skunk Works has already made a tic-tac shaped craft able to move in the similar sort of fashion as that. So I kind of feel that that one, we can rule that out as being egg-shaped. There have been lots of other egg-shaped sort of craft spotted. I really like Caspers Egg. If you haven't given Caspers Egg a look, please go on over and have a look.
Like hieroglyph of an alien passing an egg over to something or someone, and I was like, really, is that true? So what I did is I did, and this was the picture, right? So I got the picture and I put it onto the a program that checks to see if it's AI generated or not, and it's 2% fake, right? So not likely to be AI generated or deep fake.
What I would say to that though, Casper, is although it might not be an AI generated image, this could just be some chap with more time on his hands than any other, a bit like the Inca stones, and carved these by hand. I think it was the Inca stones. Basically, there's a load of rocks that have got dinosaurs all carved into them and humans at the same time. And I thought they were really, really quite cool until somebody said no, they're modern reproductions, and they showed all the evidence for it. So there you go. I don't know. I think somebody could have carved that. I mean, it just looks a little bit too... There's too many influences on it. This guy over here looks like it's Mayan, and a lot of the other stuff looks like it's taken inspiration from Sumerian culture. Unless there was some sort of culture in between the two, the Sumerians and the freaking Aztecs or whatever, then, or the Mayans. I think that, I don't know. I think it's been just done by some guy in their garage. But anyway, there we go. That's everything that I've got for you on the green egg UAPs. Now, something that I would like to say is Trump promised he was going to disclose the UAPs and orbs. And he's actually gone and said that he's definitely going to be doing that. Could you find out what that is, Susie? Here we go.
This next one, sir, is a declaration of a national energy emergency.
So you also
That's a big one. You know what that allows you to do? That means you can do whatever you have to do to get out of that problem. And we do have that kind of an emergency.
Just want to cover more of the screen.
At some point, will you use your powers of the presidency to tell Americans who are concerned about drones?
Yeah, oh, good.
Ago,
Yeah.
what exactly
I will.
happened? Can you tell us now?
In fact, I'd like to know because I just got here.
What What do you think?
I just came here. I've been here for what, 15 minutes now.
Do people listening, because this is going out
And
live.
I gotta read this letter too. Because of you, I found this letter.
I can read it for you.
It's interesting. Yeah, I know you would.
That's a letter from
father would
Biden. I
But,
think.
Is it anything these drones? Is it anything that people need to be worried
No, I think
about?
it's terrible. I would like to find out what it is and tell the people.
And can you commit to some kind of?
In fact, I'd like to do that. Could we find out what that was, Susie? Okay? Yeah, why don't we find out immediately? I mean, I can't imagine it's an enemy, or there would have been, people would have gotten blown up all over. Maybe they were testing things.
My thoughts
I don't know why
exactly.
They wouldn't have said what it was. They had a lot of them flying over Bedminster, which is interesting, right?
And with
So, like him or hate him, the fact that he is going to be looking into these drones is quite exciting for me. I think that in itself is pretty darn cool. And as soon as we do learn more about these drones and exactly what they're doing in the skies above America, then the better. And that first footage that I put up shows that these things could be everywhere, just higher than what we're used to seeing. And we have out a low light camera or a 4K camera, perhaps we're just not seeing them. And when are our nights ever clear these days? God, for the last, 6 months, I don't think I've seen the stars. It's always just covered in cloud and fog. Which makes me now think, could that be purposely done to stop us from seeing these things? I mean, I do live in I live in a town. I don't even live in a city. And we used to get clear nights all the time, especially in winter. Less pollution and stuff. But like I say, for the last 6 months, total cloud cover. Anyway, let us know what you think. Sound up in the comments. Goodbye, and goodbye again.
Steve